All right, gang. So in this video, we're going to explore how is your man with low self-esteem, with low self-worth, going to act in a breakup. Now, who am I to speak with this? Well, my name is Paul Graves. I wrote an article that's been read a few million times, 9 Things to Know If You Love a Man with Low Self-Esteem. I am a recovering alcoholic, recovering addict, recovering narcissist, truly, as I think pretty much all addicts are, just based on living like that for so long. I used to be a guy that would emotionally abuse women. Never physically, but I put them through hell for a lot of years. I thought extremely low of myself. I was very vain. I thought my physical appearance was pretty much all I had to offer the world, which, as you see, I don't really have that anymore. Now that I'm about 40, I had very little to offer the world. I was extremely empty inside. I tried to fill this black hole in my heart with money, with women, with drugs and alcohol, even violence, attention, validation, social media, the power, anything you can imagine that would just change the way I feel and perceived myself. I wanted that. And when women would finally catch on to the man that I was, when they woke up to their madness and thought, what the hell am I doing with this guy? And they would leave me, it would frickin' crush me to my core. I know that and everyone knows that breakups suck to begin with, right? But someone like me, I can't explain, I can't put it into words, the pain, and I don't even know what it was. I can't even tell what it is. So I'm speaking to you right now. If you have a man that's going through this, or if you are a guy going through this, you literally cannot even put into words. It's like you are going to die. Like you need, this separation anxiety, this feeling of, it's just abandonment. Like you are literally no one, turns you inside out as a person, especially a man who feels that he has nothing to stand on. I mean, I had no firm foundation in my life. I didn't believe in myself. I believed I had no power to really earn a living. I really believed deep down that I wasn't lovable. I had no worth as a person. I couldn't make it in this world. I wasn't built for this world. Something was wrong with me from birth. I felt just, recovery programs call it terminally unique. There was just something uniquely bad about me that no one understood. And so when someone left me, even if I deserved it, and I did, and I treated them terribly, and I could explain, I could see it coming, right? You could see it coming a mile away that I was going to be left. I would still act completely shocked and abandoned and, cry, beg, plead. Luckily, I wised up pretty quick to learn that part doesn't work, right? The begging, the pleading, the crying. Every guy, even if he's smart, wises up to that. He still does it for a few days, but after that, I would do my best to let them go, right? I would try no contact, which I think is the healthiest way to end a relationship from both sides. The leaver, the person who's left, and the person who leaves. No contact is best. Out of sight, out of mind. Well, not truly, but in the end, that's how it works. At the beginning, it's just torture, but I would take it horribly, and I would suffer. I would literally not be able to see my child. It's really sad to say that. I'm not this man anymore. But if your man is currently in this position where he's got extremely low self-esteem, low self-worth, he does not have a firm bedrock of his life like God or other faith to stand on, maybe he's not gainfully employed, like he's got not much going on, right? So he's like standing on quicksand, right? He sinks. And it's freaking horrible. Now, I'm not telling you this to feel sorry for him, because I'm sure he has it coming, and you have to live your own life. So good. If the relationship was bad and you had to leave, good on you. But I've had a lot of questions from people who are just curious, what a man like that goes through and why. And, ever since I remember growing up feeling like there was something wrong with me, I mentioned it earlier. Now, I've been sober for going on several years now. I've been working on myself before even sobriety. I started to wake up to my ways, it's been some painful growth process since then. But, ever since I remember growing up thinking there was something wrong with me, when I was like 6, 7 years old, I was diagnosed as ADD. No big deal, right? Well, back in the 80s it was. And my parents' marriage was terrible, bad. And I was then getting in trouble in school all the time. And I was sort of just seen as a problem child, underachiever, taken to a bunch of doctors, given a bunch of medicines, held back a grade. And I just was left feeling like a fuck up, a screw up, like something's wrong with me. I'm not wanted. I'm not lovable. I'm fucking weird. And as I got old enough to be able to quell those feelings with alcohol, attraction from women, violence, right, as I became like in my teens, those things worked, and that attention from women, especially the buzz of the alcohol, drugs, violence, sex, respect, that stuff worked, right? Quick money, that stuff worked, and I dove into that world, and it was a terrible, terrible life and existence for a lot of years, for a good 16, 17 years, until I started to kind of try to wake up in my early 30s. And even from that point, it took me a good 3, 4, 5 years to start making some progress on this stuff. And I consider myself an entirely different man today, still growing, not cured, never cured. But if you're a man, he probably hasn't even, I'm guessing, maybe he has, but he probably hasn't woken up to these facts. Maybe he's a victim. He's blaming you or the whole world on his problems. If only they did this. If only you knew this. If only this didn't happen to me. If only that didn't happen. If only I could make this money, baby, you'll see. If only I could do this. If only I could do that. If only. Yes, but, yes, but. He's a yes, butter, and if only you don't understand it, the victim mindset, self-pity-aholic, perhaps an alcoholic or some other addict, right? So your man's going through an extreme amount of pain. He's turned inside out. At this point, I'm glad you understand, what he's dealing with. I mean, he puts his worth into things outside of himself because there's just nothing in here. And if you don't come back, he'll have to get through that. But unfortunately, unless he matures, he's probably going to end up putting that back into once, time does heal all. It really does, even though sometimes it feels like it won't ever. He's going to end up putting that back into another relationship, his self-worth, into his identity into another relationship, perhaps work, money, fame, attention, dating, anything you can think of, into an addiction to anything he can to escape this inescapable fact that he feels like nothing on the inside, that he's got no solid ground to stand on. He can't be on his own. He can't make it in this world. No one understands him. He's so unique, and deep down he's bad. And he may act like he's actually the shit, right? Maybe he has this flip side, because the flip side of inferiority as a defense mechanism is superiority. I don't give a shit what you think about me, but I really do. I'm so weak inside. I can't stand. So I used to put on this air of superiority, of don't give a fuckness, because it would protect me. People think, oh, Paul doesn't give a shit. Oh, Paul's badass or whatever. I think they really knew the truth. But I thought that was protecting me. But I was so weak on the inside, no resilience, no sense of who I was, what I stood for. And like I said, if someone left me, I turned inside. I turned into literally nothing. I felt like a zero, like I disappeared, like I died. And it was just flipping horrible. So anyways, if you've left a man or you are a man who's going through a breakup, you've just been left, I understand where you're coming from. It can be debilitating. Your man, or if you are a man, might be debilitated right now. You can't work. You can barely live, right? Each minute feels like an hour. You can't get to work. Maybe you can't take care of your family. But what I learned is the value of pain and suffering in building character. You have to see pain and suffering as more than just what they are, as more than just a consequence. They can actually help to build character and, dependence on something bigger than yourself. So for me, that was God. Now, you don't have to believe in God. It can be, but you got to find some sort of spirituality or higher power, some sort of higher calling, okay? That the hope of that is going to at least equal or hopefully surpass the pain of what you're going through right now. So you have to find something bigger than yourself. You have to find something to latch onto, some kind of hope or freedom. Easier said than done, but that's been my only path that gets me through. I'm actually going through a breakup right now. It's been 2.5 months or so. I got to go because someone just walked in. I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Sorry about that.